sessions, or we will be recording all these sessions obviously in the future as well, just to obviously upload and obviously make available after the recording and the meeting to everyone outside who obviously couldn't attend. So just to go over a couple of house rules, the session is being recorded obviously, so yeah, I suppose be careful what you say. Please make sure you do obviously mute your microphones during the session, just allows everyone to hear what's going on a bit better. You will get an opportunity to ask questions at the end. I know we're probably going to be going through things really, really quickly here, so please do jot down any questions you have, and we do really value your feedback. I will be giving everyone a obviously feedback form at the end of the session, and I would absolutely love some feedback and perhaps things that we obviously should be looking to do in the future. So just before we start, a little bit about me. I'm a coffee guy. I love my coffees. Absolute fan of them. As soon as the COVID lockdown came along, the first purchase I made was a coffee machine. So coffee quite literally runs in my blood. I am an M365 consultant at Abnard Ireland. I actually recently moved to Ireland, although I'm in Manchester at the moment. So I started my career in software, which is really, really strange to think that that's where I started almost 9 years ago. And I have progressed into infrastructure and eventually ended up working heavily with enterprise voice and Teams for the last 2 to 3 years. And so far, really, really enjoying obviously Abnard Ireland. And yeah, we started Cloud and Coffee in July 2021. So this is our first session. I'm going to get straight into things because we've got a lot to cover. There's a lot that's happened. I was reading an article this morning that said that there were 145 million daily active users on Teams since this time last year. So as you can imagine, there's a huge amount of development that has happened in the last year, but we're only going to go over about 6 months or so because, well, there's just so much to go over, right? So I'm going to kick things off with January 21, where we got channel calendars. Now, this was a big bugbear of mine that I couldn't sort of see what was happening in channels. And any sort of meetings that had been scheduled. So this was an absolute godsend for me. I love this feature. So essentially, you have a calendar app that you can add into your channels, and it basically allows you to view any of the meetings that have been scheduled. Really great for if you've got like a channel for your project updates, and you have a daily or weekly project meeting. Really helps in sort of giving you this one view of that channel. There are a few limitations with this. Channel calendars have to be added into each channel, like I said, and channel members will not actually receive an invite unless they are added individually into the invite. So it does have its pros and cons. Channel events can only be scheduled or viewed from the Teams app, so it's not available in your Outlook calendar, as everything else is, unfortunately. Next one, big one, breakout rooms. This was hugely, hugely popular and very, very highly requested. Absolutely great for larger meetings. I mean, I've certainly been part of meetings that have been hundreds of people, and you just don't get that chance to connect and actually speak to people in that obviously big of an environment. So breakout rooms kind of allows that grouping as if you were at an event, and obviously allows you to speak to other people at that event. Really, really useful. And great for brainstorming sessions. I've actually used it for brainstorming in the past as well. One of my friends asked me to set up a meeting for him, and he had to invite God knows how many people it was. 80 or so people, and they needed to brainstorm something, and they wanted to do it in groups. And I said, you know what, let's do it with obviously breakout rooms. Really, really useful, because the interaction that you got in groups of 10, as opposed to a very big group of 80, it was phenomenal and great to see. There are, again, a few limitations. It can only be organized through the desktop application. Again, you can't do this through Outlook. You can't add people through the participants panel, and you can't add people to meeting chat, and you cannot copy the meeting info to add people into breakout rooms. But overall, I think absolutely fabulous feature. And if you haven't used it yet, please go ahead and try it out, because it's a lifesaver. It's an absolute lifesaver. Just for those of you who may not have had the opportunity to do it so far, you start a meeting, you click breakout rooms from the meeting controls, and then you assign the number of obviously rooms you want and how you want people to be assigned to those rooms. I like to do it automatically, because I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit there and organize 80 people into rooms, right? It's not going to happen. So automatic assignment works brilliantly, and it really allows a very kind of diverse group. I know that, if you put certain people together, they all kind of know each other. That's all well and good, but automatically it's a huge time saver, right? Some other big things that came in January were together mode scenes. So we could go from an auditorium into Wonderland. If I get the opportunity to do it at the end, what we might do is turn our cameras on, and we can then sort of try it out if that works. Company-wide task lists, again, I know a lot of people who said this was an absolute lifesaver for them, because they had a lot of tiny task lists for like ops and sales and marketing or so on, and they just wanted everyone in the business to have this one view of the company-wide task list, and really, really helps organizing everyone in the business. Great for smaller companies. Not quite sure how that would work out in larger scale, sort of corporate multinationals. If anyone's got an experience of that, drop it in the comments and let's see what we get. Approvals app in Teams, that came in January 21 as well. And that was a hugely, hugely useful feature for a lot of companies. I know a lot of people who like to use that for quick requests, just to kind of keep things auditable, right? So again, really, really useful feature. Really, really love having it in Teams. And one that was useful for a family friend, actually, who uses Google Workspace, and seems that every one of his clients uses Teams. You can schedule and join Teams meetings from Google Workspace Calendar. So for him, it was a case of joining Teams meetings was just made so much easier. And obviously he had guest access control of obviously everyone else's teams, and really, really helps smooth things out for everyone. February. So we're already in February. So live reactions came to meetings. It's interesting, this one, because we're used to expressing ourselves without obviously words a lot nowadays. And I tend to find myself using thumbs up and emojis everywhere. And to have it come to Teams was absolutely brilliant. But then to have it come into obviously meetings was just a step above, right? It really allows you to show your appreciation and just support. And in some cases, I've used it to heckle people as well, or just catch them off guard. by raising my hand. I'm sure someone's going to do that in a second now just to annoy me. Um, so really, really useful feature. Absolutely love it and cannot do without it anymore. February, what else did we have? So pick up where you left off. This was really useful. I've not got a chance to use this one so far. Maybe I might do down the line, but it happens to me quite a lot. I'm presenting a meeting and someone goes, "Oh, I've got an idea. Can I share my screen?" And I'm like, I'm on slide 10 of 20 here, right? Like, let me finish. But no, it really helps in keeping the productivity up where obviously everyone's involved. But if you're like me and you like to flick around the slides and then you can't remember where you were, pick up where you left off is really, really useful. Strangely, I haven't used it though. So there you go. Keyboard shortcuts. There were some new keyboard shortcuts to raise and lower your hand, screen reader, etc. I've not used any of those either. So I just stick to my standard mute and unmute because that's all I ever seem to do at the moment. And the back arrow at the top of the Teams app. So I'll put a picture there as well. I don't know if anyone's actually spotted that, but there's a back arrow there. And to be fair, until I was kind of doing the research for this, I was like, I didn't even know there was a back arrow there. It just popped up one day, right? Never used it. So, February was one of those months. I didn't really get to use a lot of features. What else do we have? So March came along and we got Meet Now in calendar view. So if you go into your calendar in Teams on the left-hand side, you obviously had the option to add a new meeting or add a new live event. Well, now we've got the option of having a Meet Now in the calendar view. Really and truly, I've only recently started using this. It's a really, really good feature. Really good for those ad hoc, quick meetings that you just want to schedule and just have there. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the Meet Now. Interestingly, Outlook also got an update in March around the same time as this, where you could start a meeting straight from within Outlook. It wasn't a Meet Now, it was actually a scheduled meeting, but you could start it in Outlook. So you could join your meetings in Outlook. So again, really, really helpful for that productivity. April also gave us share abilities of obviously meetings, of emails, sorry, into Teams. So I've had it before where I have an email come in and I'm like, oh, I need to go get the channel address and I need to forward the email to the channel address. This just makes life so much easier. Really useful for those that are used to the world of Skype, where we had the ability to IM someone off the back of an email. This allows you to share emails straight into a team channel or straight to a person directly. Fairly simple, and I've even given you a little bit of a picture there as to how you do it, right? So you can share it from the top using the highlighted in the banner above, or through the options in the actual email itself. We also got meeting options in April. Now, meeting options is really, really useful. Great for a meeting like this, for example, where I'm presenting or I'm busy doing other things, and I don't want to have to admit people one by one into the meeting. I just basically want everyone to come in and join, wherever I am. But it also gave a lot more. So, who can present? Can attendees have obviously microphone and camera abilities? Can they chat? Can they have reactions? The other option, which isn't in the screenshot, interestingly, is can invites be forwarded? And that's quite a big one as well, because I tend to host sessions where I only invite like a few key people, but they obviously want to invite other people below them. And they're like, well, we can't do it. I just turn it on in the meeting options and away they go. They can start to forward invites to whoever they please. Moving on, better content sharing. Okay, this is one I contend. I preferred the older version of this. It just worked, right? I'm a creature of habit, right? I don't like big changes like this, but I've gotten used to it. So we got the ability to share PowerPoint slides, share windows, share a whiteboard. The big thing was the redesigned sharing experience, as you see on the left there. Still not a fan, but I'm getting used to it. And it does look great. I'm not going to lie. It does look a lot better than it used to be. The old version just seemed to look a bit out of date, right? But yeah, this really does help. I'm not going to lie. It does give you a cleaner view. What else did we get in May? So we got sharing system audio for Mac OS. Really big one for me because I'm a Mac OS user. Although I use a Windows laptop for work predominantly. I do like to often switch between my Mac and my Windows. So to share audio on the Mac was brilliant. Emojis was the other big one. We had about 85, 90 yards prior to this. We got over 800 after this update. So that was absolutely brilliant. Manage you can turn the camera on and off in meetings. Yeah, that came as a separate update. It wasn't in the original meeting options update. So yeah, just thought I'd add that one in there. So June, last month, this is a big one. So until now, we've obviously been able to record meetings, which has been fantastic. But there was a bugbear, and I know a lot of people who were complaining that they couldn't obviously record one-to-one calls. Really useful for when you're doing a handover session with someone just before you go on annual leave, right? You want to record the session just so that you've got that to go back to. Well, you can now. It's PowerShell option. I've not seen it in the GUI just yet, but it's PowerShell option, and you can turn on call recording from the calling policy in PowerShell. And just like you can with a meeting, you can click the three dots and start recording. Only works in a one-to-one scenario. If you wanted the one-to-many or the obviously one-to-many as we are in now, that would be a scheduled meeting. But this is really, really useful. And yes, PSTN as well. So it does cover the PSTN. Okay, so June, what else did we get? Spotlight. Organizers and presenters can pin video to people. So again, really useful if you're doing a larger meeting and you want the ability for certain people's cameras to always stay on everyone's screen. You can just pin them to the spotlight. Collection of Teams diagnostics logs was also made very easy. To be fair, I've not collected many diagnostics logs prior, but what I do know is now that everything goes into one folder in your downloads, which is super, super simple. If you raise a support case and they ask you to collect diagnostic logs, really, really simple. All you do is you just click collect diagnostic logs. It goes into one folder and you email it off to them. Makes your life so much easier. Large gallery layout also came to mobiles. I've not had a chance to use it on my mobile. I don't know if anyone else here has, but I'm sort of struggling to see how that would work on such a screen size. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think I'm going to use that one. So what have we had so far? Well, the first one's quite interesting. If you turn transcription on in your meetings, um, you can find a recording based on what was said. Um, Now, I must admit, every time I've turned transcription on, it's been a hit and a miss for me. It's worked sometimes, it's not worked other times. It it's interesting with accents, and I certainly know that from a very diverse background myself, um, and working with people from all over the world. Um, it handles accents quite interestingly. It works for some accents, it doesn't work for others. So finding a meeting based on what was said, um, I'd like to see how that works. But again, really good update, really helps. I often find myself thinking, oh, something was said about this in that meeting, and really great that now you are able to obviously search, um, obviously for that meeting recording. Suggested replies in chat. Yeah, this one only recently came out. So it's been on mobile for a while, but on the desktop app, it's only recently come out. Really useful because I'm quite lazy when it comes to responding. So I just like to use the quick responses pretty much everywhere. Like any app that has it, I will use it. If I wanted to do a quick response on my mobile, it's just really simple. Just tap the one you want and away you go. Just makes me even lazier now, doesn't it? Reply to specific messages in desktop app has also come out. And this, oh my God, this is something that I have been struggling with. So people often send you 5 messages. All 5 are related to 5 different topics, and you want to respond to a single message. Yeah, I find that quite an annoyance on the desktop app that you couldn't do it. It is rolling out at the moment. It's been on mobile for a while now, and yeah, I've recently got the opportunity to use it. In fact, I didn't even know it came out until someone messaged me the other day. I don't know if they're on this call or not, but I did say to them they should join, because I'm going to mention them. And yeah, she sent me a message, and it had obviously replied to this message, clearly stated there, and I was like, "Are you using your mobile?" Nope, I'm using the desktop app, and lo and behold, the option's there. Lifesaver for me. Another Mac OS one because I'm a Mac user. Native notifications. Yeah, if you're a Mac user, you'll know the notifications um, in Mac, especially when it came to, if I can get my words out today, that'd be brilliant. Especially when it came to Teams, they didn't appear in the control center on the right-hand side, or the notification center. And so if you were going to have a look through all of your history of what's happened, if you were on do not disturb or something like that, then it didn't really give you anything, did it? Well, now they're there, and they appear and they look just like any other notification on Mac, and it is brilliant. And we also got the ability to pin chat messages. So that's everything so far. Let's have a look forward and see what's coming. I must admit, I've not found much for past this, so I'm sure someone will correct me, but there's more coming. I know there's more coming. Transcription for one-to-one calls is coming in August, and really, really looking forward to that one, because I just want to see how it works with accents. Breakout room support for Android is also coming, and I'm sure that'll be great for people who are on the go. Walkie-talkie, I've never used this. I don't really see the need on your desktop. Maybe on your mobile, I get it, but on your desktop, this is an interesting one, right? And this is coming in September. Direct guest join for Zoom and WebEx. Now, this has been raved about on pretty much every group that I've seen, right? You can join Zoom and WebEx meetings on video-enabled Teams Android devices. So these are like your conference or obviously huddle space devices, your Logitechs, your Yay-Links, your Polycoms, and yeah, it just kind of makes everything a bit more open for everyone, doesn't it? The final thing is co-organize a meeting role. That would be really useful for a meeting like this. I could just invite someone else to be an organizer with me, and they could have control of meeting options. Or if I had enabled the lobby, they could take charge of the lobby, for example, right? Really, really useful feature that I think is going to be really well used after it rolls out. So that's pretty much it for this session. I've tried to keep it short and sweet because I appreciate it's a Thursday. The weather in Manchester anyway is really nice. And I'm sure everyone wants to get out there and enjoy the weather. Just before I do open the floor for questions, just want to quickly highlight some caveats. I did pick some of the updates. There are hundreds. I have an Excel spreadsheet that I've kept of every single update that has happened this year. And yeah, we were in the hundreds. They include admin center updates, security compliance updates, updates that affect stuff like OneDrive, SharePoint, so on and so forth, as well as Teams. I didn't obviously want to pick every single one of those hundreds and try to go over it. Otherwise, we would have been here for years. The other thing is I've picked those that are just generally available to M365 users, as opposed to picking any that were available to, for example, government or education. So they would have had their own updates. Again, I do have all of those. If anyone's interested to see that Excel spreadsheet, actually, drop a comment in the comments and I will share it with you afterwards in an email, just so you've got it really for reference. So with that, I will stop presenting and I will open the floor for any questions. Anyone at all? I'll give everyone a minute to think. I shall take silence as my key to get out of here, right?
Thank you for that.
Thanks, Alex. Thank you, Alex, for attending as well. All right, perfect. Well, I will be uploading the session and sharing it with everyone who attended as well today. I do believe we have a comment coming, so I shall just hang fire just to make sure there isn't a question coming. Yeah, not a problem at all. I will share that with you, Scott, the spreadsheet. Got a few comments going here. Yes, this recording will be made available. It's actually going on YouTube, on the M365 Pro Tips YouTube channel. I actually do run a blog as well, which will be going live very shortly. So you'll have access to the blog and all the video content that I've made and we will be making in the future as well. Okay, got one more comment coming. Scott asks, so what features do you use the most? Oh, that's a difficult one, the live reactions, definitely. I'm a sucker for live reactions. And well, you've asked a very good question now. What do I use the most? I'd like to say content sharing, obviously, sharing emails to teams, big one, and meeting options, obviously. Yeah, a fair few, not all of them. That's for sure. Not all of them. And yeah, okay, emojis. Yeah, Diego, well done for reminding me. Right, emojis, big one. Love it. Reactions are really good. So yeah. And Kasim is just saying it'll be interesting to see what the recording transcripts look like when Geordies like me are on a call. Kasim, you know what? I'd like to see that one too. I would like to see the transcription trying to handle a Geordie accent. I can barely understand you Geordies at the best of times, right? So that'll be really fun. Alex says, "I love the PowerPoint Live." One next slide, please. Yes, Alex, 100%. That really is a useful feature. And I've seen you use it a couple of times actually. So I don't know if that speaks to your laziness or your cleverness, right? let's just leave it at that. Relation to the question, Diego asked, relation to the question, what features like the most would you like to see introduced the most, or even unexpected one? Right. What would I like to see the most? There's so much I'd like to see in Teams, right? I think one thing we've got to remember with like features here, and I'll just caveat what I'm going to say before I say it, is it's a business application. I'm quite used to using Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and stuff. But what feature would I like to see the most? One thing I'm looking forward to is the direct guest join for Zoom and WebEx meetings from the Android devices, right? Because, I mean, I'm a user of one of them. I actually have one at home because I like to use a dedicated device to join meetings, and it does often annoy me if someone sends me a Zoom link and then I have to swap back to my computer and use that, right? That's one thing I'd really, really like to see come sooner. If there's anything else that I haven't seen coming out that I'd like to see, one thing that would be really fun is everyone starts a meeting, with the cameras turned on and don't get the option to turn it off for like 10 minutes. That would be really funny to see that. But again, probably not a good business use, right? I don't see many people liking that one. But yeah, what would I like to see? I'm not sure. You put me on the spot there, Diego. I don't think there is anything that I haven't seen on the roadmap.
Sorry about that.
They've literally done everything. Like Microsoft have got everything covered, right? They've got everything covered here. So yeah, I'm going to turn that question straight back to you, Diego. What do you want?
No worries. Yeah, that one was great. The Zoom one, and that should be really, really good. That's actually something really something really interesting. So looking forward to that as well.
Definitely. I believe Luke is typing. Hover over people for a quick review of free or busy. Luke, you know what? That is a very, very good option. I didn't think of. I just use presence though, because presence tells you if you're in a call or not. But yeah, if they gave the option to see like a quick calendar view even of how long they're free for, that would be an absolutely fantastic use of some space there. I like this. It's gone from absolute silence to like everyone getting involved here. This is good. Deeper integration of apps within Meetings Canvas, like sharing a PowerPoint, but for polls and similar apps. Yes, Alex, I completely agree. I do think that some deeper level integrations into apps would be really, really useful, and definitely within meetings, 100%. would really like to see that as well. Definitely. All right. So unless there's any more questions, guys, I'm going to say class dismissed, right? Thanks, Alex, and thank you everyone for joining today. It has been fantastic. So just a quick sort of heads up as to what's coming next week. We actually have an MVP joining us next week, and she's going to host a session. I shan't give you a spoiler just yet. Watch out for our Eventbrite page. If I can finish this off, that'd be really good. Watch our Eventbrite page, and we will be posting on there very shortly. Not next week, but the week after. She will be joining us for a session, and I believe we have another MVP after that as well. So thank you very much all for joining, and I look forward to seeing you all on our next session. All right. Bye-bye.